Hello everyone. Welcome to today's lesson. Labor contract signing. After graduation, when you enter society and search for a job, you will encounter labor contracts. They are not only your proof of employment, but also a protective umbrella to safeguard the legal rights of employees. For instance, in this case, cousin of Xiao Wang experienced 2 labor contract disputes with her company due to ambiguous contract terms, which consumed a great deal of time and effort. So if you were Xiao Wang, what would you focus on before signing a labor contract? First, we need to consider what is a labor contract. A labor contract is an agreement between an employee and an employer that establishes the employment relationship and clearly defines the rights and obligations of both parties. Its primary legal basis is the labor law, the labor contract law, and implementation regulations of the labor contract law. These laws and regulations serve as a strong fortress protecting our rights, providing legal grounds for various situations that may arise during employment. Next, let's take the situation in China as an example and focus on the key clauses in a labor contract. As you can see, the image displays several crucial clauses from the labor contract. First, look at the employer's basic information. You must carefully verify key details, such as the company name, registered address, and legal representative against the employer's business license to confirm that the employer is legitimate. Otherwise, the contract may be invalid. The employee's basic information is also crucial. Your name, residential address, and ID number must be accurate to avoid affecting salary payments and social insurance contributions. There is much to consider regarding contract duration and the probation period. There are 3 types of contract duration: fixed term, open-ended, and task completion based. For fixed-term contracts lasting from 3 months to 1 year, the probation period is at most 1 month. For contracts lasting from 1 to 3 years, the probation period is at most 2 months. And for contracts of 3 years or more, or open-ended contracts, the probation period is at most 6 months. It is important to note that the type and duration of the contract must comply with the regulations. The agreements regarding job duties and work location must be specific and clear. For example, if your position is based in Shanghai Pudong New Area, the contract should explicitly state this information. Vague terms can often lead to unnecessary disputes later. Furthermore, before signing the contract, you should carefully assess whether you can realistically meet the work location requirements stated in the contract to avoid issues such as long commutes or other personal factors affecting regular attendance. Regarding working hours and rest leave, in China, there are the standard working hours system, the non-fixed working hours system, and the comprehensive calculation working hours system. The standard working hours system means working no more than 8 hours per day and no more than 40 hours per week. The non-fixed working hours system means there are no fixed start or end times on workdays, but work tasks must be completed, and the comprehensive calculation working hours system is based on the standard system, with total working hours calculated over a set period. You must know which working hours system applies to your job and be aware of the overtime regulations and how overtime pay is calculated. If the employer schedules overtime, it must be negotiated with the employee, and there are legal limits on the duration of overtime. However, in special circumstances, such as natural disasters, overtime limits may not apply. Remuneration and social insurance are matters of great concern to everyone. Wages must not be lower than the local minimum wage standard, and there are clear regulations regarding probationary wages. In China, the probationary wage must not be less than either the minimum wage for the same position or 18% of the wage stipulated in the contract. The schedule for wage payments must also be specified in the contract, such as whether the payment is made on a monthly or daily basis. At the same time, the employer must arrange social insurance for employees. In accordance with national regulations, Chinese law mandates that employers provide insurance for retirement, medical care, unemployment, work-related injuries, and maternity, which offers substantial protection. Labor protection and working conditions are directly related to everyone's safety and health. Everyone has the right to receive occupational safety and health education and training, to undergo occupational health examinations, and to obtain labor protection. If you encounter illegal directives from the employer, you have the right to refuse. And if you observe actions that endanger life or health, you may criticize, report, and file a complaint. Having understood the key clauses in a labor contract, let us now examine the rights and obligations of employees. Employees enjoy many rights. Based on the important clauses discussed earlier, we know that employees have the right to regulated working hours and rest leave, ensuring they receive adequate rest, the right to remuneration, ensuring that their labor is duly compensated, the right to occupational safety and health protection, to work in a safe and healthy work environment, as well as the right to receive vocational training and to enjoy social insurance and welfare benefits. In addition, employees have the right to initiate labor dispute resolution. If a labor dispute arises with the employer, it can be resolved through negotiation. If negotiation fails, mediation and arbitration may be pursued, and if one is dissatisfied with the arbitration decision, litigation can be initiated in court. Of course, while employees enjoy their rights, they also have corresponding obligations. For example, they must abide by labor, discipline, and professional ethics, adhere to occupational safety and health regulations, and complete their assigned tasks. Only by fulfilling these obligations can harmonious labor relations be established. Returning to Xiao Wang, after understanding the key clauses of the contract and his own rights and obligations, during the process of signing the labor contract, besides carefully reviewing and ensuring that all key clauses are completed accurately, what else should Xiao Wang pay attention to? He must take special care to avoid any blank clauses that could be arbitrarily filled in after the contract is signed. Also, he should ensure that a copy of the contract is retained after signing, as it serves as a crucial basis for protecting his rights and can be consulted at any time in the future. Finally, to summarize today's content, we have discussed the key clauses contained in a labor contract, the rights and obligations of employees, and the important considerations when signing a labor contract. Students, signing a labor contract is a crucial beginning of your career. You must treat it with great care. Thoroughly read all the clauses and ensure that your rights are fully protected. I hope today's lesson will help you successfully embark on a new chapter in your professional career. That concludes today's lesson.